Hi folks, my name is Doug Korn. I'm a fly tyer for Parks Fly Shop out in Gardner, Montana, and today we're going to do what I call wire heads. They're a head that I used on flies to take the place of beads. Early on in my tying career, it was hard to have a lot of beads. They were expensive. I needed a bunch of different sizes, and so I came up with this method. I don't know if it was new or not at the time, but I still use it today for a lot of flies, especially when I tie my scuds and some nymphs. The other good thing about this is they tend to be a little lighter than beads, and they won't sink as deep. And you can vary them to make them any size you want. So we'll start out doing that by laying down a thread base about a hook eye in length, about the size of the bead that you want to make. And what I do is I go up and down that bead base a few times, like three layers. And what I'm going to use today is some copper wire here from a piece of speaker wire. Just cut it to length. This is about 5-6 inches long. Take the plastic off of it on both ends, and you can just pull out individual pieces then, and it's held together by the insulation. See the clear insulation on here, and you have a nice little bundle of wire. And by varying the size of the wire and the number of layers that you put down, you can vary the size of the beads. And so I have all kinds of uni wire. I have some craft wire. You see here, 24 gauge. I have some 32 gauge. I have some 20. This is 28. So there's a bunch of different wires. You can use gold wire, silver wire, whatever you want. And so in the vise, I've got a size 14 nymph hook. I take the end of my wire and I put it right up on my side of the hook, right against the eye, and wind down towards the eye. And so I'm going to go down towards the eye with one layer, and then overwrap that back. When I get to that point, right at the starting point there, I'm going to add a drop of super glue. And then you're just going to bring that wire forward. And for most of the heads that I use, I make 4 turns right up behind the eye. And then what you want to do is you want to come back down on top of that. With 3 turns. Now, these aren't the prettiest heads. No illusion about that. But they are effective and they work great. So I'm going to break this off. Just helicopter it off. And that's the head. Take my thread, and in this case, I'm just going to whip finish. Cut this off. Put some super glue on the head. And here you could use UV resin too. UV resin works really well. I'm going to set this aside to dry. And while that's drying, we'll come back to that fly, and I'll tie a quick nymph for you there. We're going to go ahead and tie a scud pattern for you using the same method, and maybe another little trick to it, so you can kind of see that.